What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well, I hope you keep me safe. Today is the day we're going to watch some water jumping went horribly wrong. Further ado, let's continue with the video. If you do like this, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe button. And let's continue with the video.
Guys, it's Chris. From criminals fleeing the law to selfies with an anaconda in the Amazon. Here are 10 times jumping into the water went horribly wrong.
Alright, let's see what we find. Out.
Number 10. Banned for life. A man from Vancouver, Washington was banned for life when he made the stupid decision of jumping off the side of a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. According to a spokesperson from Royal Caribbean, the behavior was reckless and stupid, and the man and his companions were banned from ever sailing with them again. They were even exploring legal options to bring the man up on criminal charges. This jumper's name was Nick Nadev, and he posted a video of himself jumping off the 11th deck of the cruise ship Symphony of the Seas, which just so happens to be the largest cruise ship in the entire world.
Why would you do that?
The vessel was docked in Nassau, where the event took place. Even though Nick got lots of attention from the incident online, it's doubtful the legal repercussions will make it worthwhile. Nick told his Instagram followers that at the time of the jump, he was drunk, but not only drunk, still drunk from the night before. When he woke up, he got the crazy idea to jump overboard. He also didn't walk away from the ship unscathed. According to Nick, he could hardly walk for 3 days after smashing into the water from 11 stories up.
Oh, God.
It was almost like landing on concrete. Nick had to be plucked out of the water by a smaller boat that happened to be in the area and then brought to shore. Security officials from the cruise ship then kicked him and his companions off and left them stranded in Nassau.
Good.
Nick and his friends had to find their own way home from the Bahamas. Number 9. Running from the law.
People these days.
Running from the law isn't easy. When David Libby got into some trouble with the police in Lee County, Florida, he tried to escape capture by jumping off the Orange River Bridge. This happened on a Monday night at around 9 p.m., forcing the deputies that had been chasing David to pull an overnight search. It all started when investigators noticed David's license plate. Law enforcement pinged his license plate as stolen. David had taken a trailer from near the Sun and Fun RV park and was trying to get away with it. When the deputies attempted to pull him over, he didn't stop. Instead, David tried to outrun the police with the stolen trailer. He was eventually pulled over on the Orange River Bridge. He allowed his vehicle to slow down, and then before police could get him, according to the Lee County deputies, David crawled out of the passenger side of his vehicle and jumped off the bridge. After the incident, David is facing a whole heap of charges, including battery, because his trailer hit a deputy during the traffic stop, fleeing the police, and resisting officers. He didn't make it that far after jumping off the bridge and was discovered hiding in the mangroves. Number 8. Rescue gone wrong. A man from Vermont learned the hard way that not all rescues can be successful. Rescue workers had to pull this brave man out of a fast-moving brook after he got caught in the raging waters. State police responded to the call at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Derek Taylor jumped into the water in a bold attempt to rescue his dog after it had accidentally fallen in and was being swept downstream by the intense currents. But Derek wasn't able to save his beloved dog. Instead, he only got himself swept over 50 feet downstream, where he eventually hit a rock and got stranded. Derek was clinging to the rock for at least 3 hours while the rescue operation unfolded. Amazingly, fire and technical rescue crews, along with state troopers, managed to get Derek out of the raging brook to safety. Derek was then treated at the University of Vermont Medical Center for extreme hypothermia. This guy nearly froze to death trying to rescue his dog, but can you really blame him? I think it's safe to say that just about anyone would do the same to try and
Would you do the same? Please let me know in the comments down below. Would you do the same? Would you save your dog, or would you save anyone else from drowning? Please let me know in the comments down below. I definitely would.
Rescue their canine friend. And regretfully, there's been no sighting of the dog at all. The poor thing was likely swept all the way down the brook and has probably been carried out into the ocean by now. Number 7. Cliff jumping mayhem. In North Vancouver, British Columbia, a man has been pronounced dead after what authorities believe was a cliff jumping adventure gone wrong. The accident happened in Lynn Canyon, a popular spot for tourists and locals to jump from the slippery cliffs into the bubbling waters below.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, cliff jumping is a pretty dangerous and reckless thing to do.
It definitely is. Cliff jumping is definitely a dangerous thing. Dangerous thing. If you know how to swim, then that's fantastic. If you don't know how to swim, don't even bother cliff jumping, because once you're in the water, there's no point. If you hear some banging, there's next door basically do some work and stuff, so they're just building up their house. Cliff jumping, I wouldn't highly recommend for everyone to do it. I know people don't really follow the rules, but that's the world we live in pretty much. No one really gives a shit. But now, coronavirus is hopefully slowly backing off, and we're moving forward back into normality, and everyone gets to stay indoors and do as much shit as they want now, because it's all good now. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day with all your friends and families, and you get to hug them and say to them, I've missed you. And let's continue with the video. Sorry.
Firefighters responded to an emergency call at around 5 o'clock Sunday, with the body being discovered soon after near the Twin Falls Bridge. A spokesman for the RCMP told CBC News that the male victim had been seen jumping into the canyon. They went on to warn the public that they should be paying attention to the signs and fences, as they're in place so this kind of thing doesn't happen. But despite the warnings, deaths happen at Lynn Canyon all the time. Almost everyone ignores the caution signs, and many people jump off the cliffs into the gorge pools below. In fact, between 1985 and 2016, there have been at least 32 deaths inside Lynn Canyon. Many of them attributed to canyon jumpers. If you're looking to jump into the water, maybe think about doing it in a place where you won't bash your head into an unseen rock and then be swept off down the raging river. So have you ever tried to jump into the water from really high up? Where were you? I was probably in a pool. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're liking this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Number 6, bungee jumping disaster. A young woman never expected to be diving into a shallow river when she signed up to go bungee jumping. Bungee jumping doesn't normally involve hitting the ground.
I don't trust bungee jumping at all. I just don't trust it. Like, as much as the rope is tight to you as possible, I just don't trust bungee jumping. There's no way in hell you would ever see me bungee jump unless there's a high price pay-wise, or if it's, let's say, someone told me or dared to do it. If I was basically drunk out of my face, or let's say I was out with the boys and they said, come on James, this is your wedding anniversary gift or something like that, yes, I'll definitely do it. But if it was just normal day, normal activity, no. If I had my friends, my family, people to support me, people encourage me to do it, then yes, I would push myself to do it. If I did it myself, no. No, I don't trust bungee jumping. I would never do it, but I don't know. I just don't. I'm just here at the minute. If you have done bungee jumping, or if you've ever done skydiving or anything like that, please let me know comments down below and put a thumbs up, and then I'll basically get your advice and talk to you to say what's the best strategy to actually do it. Do I put myself first, or do I do confidence, or I just don't know what to do.
However, after the woman leapt from the bridge, a malfunction with her rope caused her to literally dive from the bridge straight into the riverbed. The bungee cord never even tightened. It was simply way too long, forcing the woman to free fall. She crashed headfirst into the murky water. This happened in central Bolivia, with a video of the incident being uploaded by a family on vacation who witnessed the horrifying accident. According to the family, bungee jumping is not a very common thing to see in the area, and now we know why. To make matters worse, the woman was in seriously bad condition after smashing into the riverbed below, and help couldn't make it right away. Someone had to rush to the nearest town just to send for an ambulance. The woman couldn't move, she could hardly speak, and she could barely open her eyes. She was in total agony. But in the end, I'm happy to say the woman did make a full recovery from the botched bungee jumping experience, only after being transferred to a private clinic and recovering from her wounds. And yes, the company responsible for her accident paid the medical bills. Number 5, swimming with sharks. In San Diego County...
Just no. Just no. After watching 47 meters deep, is that the film? Yeah, after watching that, just no. No, thank you. No.
A man hanging out on a boat with some friends made a pretty poor decision when he jumped into the water with a shark. The guy thought he saw a basking shark swimming near the boat. Basking sharks are often considered pretty harmless. They don't usually attack people, and they're pretty great swimming partners, so the idea itself wasn't really horrible. What turned out to be horrible was that the guy jumped into the water with something that definitely wasn't a basking shark. Instead of a friendly plankton-eating basking shark with small, harmless hooked teeth, this guy jumped in with a great white shark. The man's friends screamed at him to get back in the boat. They were yelling at him, "That's not a basking shark," and they watched helplessly as the great white thrashed around in the water just inches from their friend. And luckily, this guy made it back into the boat in one piece. He was extremely lucky that the great white didn't open its jaws and take a bite out of him. Maybe it just wasn't hungry. Number 4, Anaconda Selfie. If you thought jumping into the water with a great white shark was a bad idea, check out this guy who jumped into a river in the Amazon jungle to take the most dangerous selfie ever. This guy was a tourist named Carlos Andrade, a cattle rancher from Nyamunda, who got the crazy idea to snap a selfie of himself with the world's largest and most dangerous anaconda. Carlos put his life on the line and the future of his farm in jeopardy just to get a picture in the water with one of the most prolific hunters in the entire Amazon jungle. This serpent was a green anaconda, a snake that can grow up to 30 feet and strangle animals as big as horses before swallowing them whole. If the anaconda had been so inclined, it could have easily wrapped its bulky body around Carlos and squeezed his bones to juice. Miraculously, Carlos survived jumping into the river with his selfie stick and playing with the anaconda. Maybe it didn't see Carlos. Maybe it just didn't like the look of him. Whatever the case, Carlos got the most legendary selfie, and luckily he walked away with his life. Number 3, failed rescue. In California, a family outing to the beach turned into a tragedy. At Blind Beach in the small town of Jenner, 2 young children were swept out to sea. The kids were only 4 and 6 years old, and they got sucked up in a riptide. Riptides are incredibly dangerous, and one of the leading causes of people drowning at public beaches. In this case, the riptide grabbed hold of the children like an underwater hand and dragged them out into the sea. The father of the children saw what was happening and tried to save them. This guy jumped into the water thinking he was going to rescue his children. But what happened next is nothing short of tragic. The father grabbed one of the children, but in his effort, he was swept out to sea with them. His heroic actions turned out to be completely frivolous. According to the Sonoma County Sheriff, the father's body was pulled out of the water shortly after 2:30 in the afternoon. In the end, the father jumped in to save his children and ended up drowning. And as for the kids, they were never found. At the end of the day, the poor mother was left sitting in the sand with the body of her dead husband and her 2 children gone to watery graves, all because they wanted to have a bit of family time at the beach. Number 2, dead in the water. A man in Mississippi jumped into a pond on a dare, and this might seem pretty innocent. After all, ponds aren't typically dangerous. But that's because you've never seen a pond in Mississippi. This young man's friends coerced him into jumping, and one of his friends even promised to hand over cash for a down payment on a new car. One friend called him soft, saying he didn't believe he would ever jump into the pond. Well, this guy totally gave in to the peer pressure. The last thing he ever said on dry land was, "If I drown, who's gonna come and get me?" Unfortunately for the guy in the pond, he didn't make it. He jumped into the water, swam about halfway across the pond, screamed for help, and then vanished. He was only 20 years old when he drowned in the middle of the pond with all his friends watching and filming on their phones. And nobody even jumped in to save him. Somebody did call 911 though. Firefighters arrived and informed everybody that a drop-off in the center of the pond was probably 30 feet deep. The young kid left behind a 7-month-old baby. He never arrived at his graduation in June, and he never attended college in the fall. And all because of a stupid pond in Mississippi.
Alright, so this is what I'm trying to say. Don't listen to your friends that are giving you stupid ideas. This is what happens. This is one of the reasons, yeah? In this world, I know you have your mates to do some stupid challenges and stuff. That's fine, you can do it. But something that will risk your life, don't even bother. What is the point? Make them do it. Then they'll see how stupid they are. It's just stupid. They're absolutely stupid. Let's see what number 1 says.
Number 1, bad escape. In Florida, a man was arrested by the police on his way to jail when he managed to break away from the officers and jumped into the water of Boca Ciega Bay. It was one of the most dramatic escapes ever.
No way.
According to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, the man's name was Donnie Brownlow Jr., and he was accused of felony driving and domestic battery obstruction. These are not the worst crimes to be arrested for, and yet Donnie risked his life to try and escape. And you should know the escape didn't go at all according to Donnie's plan, but you're probably wondering how Donnie escaped in the first place. He was in handcuffs and being walked to the transportation vehicle which would transport him to jail. During the walk, Donnie made a break for it. He dodged the officers and then jumped into the water. Nobody knew exactly what he was planning to do from there, and unfortunately for Donnie, nobody would ever get the chance to ask him. He was found later by the Treasure Island Fire Department and given CPR on the scene, but he was already dead.
Oh shit.
This ridiculous criminal thought he could swim away with handcuffs on and ended up drowning instead.
Oh,
Thanks for
wow.
watching.
So yeah, hope you've learned something out of the top 10 jumping horribly went wrong. If you definitely learned something, just make sure in the future do not do anything like this, because you make your health and risk, and basically you'll just harm yourself even more, so which is really stupid. But yeah, any further ado, thank you very much for watching, people. Hope you did enjoy this. If you want to see any more reacts, please let me know in the comments down below and tell me what other reacts you would like me to see. Thank you very much for watching, people. Hope you stay safe and enjoy the freedom now coronavirus is basically let us do more things now, which is fantastic. Alright, take care guys, and have a good week.
We make bad mistakes, then you come back my way.